So can we talk about Circle? Because Circle is set to IPO tomorrow.
Yeah.
At a
$6 billion?
$6.8 billion valuation. Circle is the company that issues USDC, the stablecoin.
Yeah, which gets distributed through Coinbase.
Yep.
Coinbase is a shareholder of Circle.
I think at first blush, and I've been like kind of removed from the markets for a while, this almost makes me want to come back tomorrow because I think Circle is sort of the way to play stablecoin proliferation, not Curve or Maker. Like Circle's gonna fucking do very well from here.
I mean, USDC is the kind of default American stablecoin as of now. I believe the Trump family is launching USD1, which is the Trump family's stablecoin. Makes me feel good about the stablecoin legislation passing.
I mean,
drop your little hands in there.
For what it's worth, I think like every single person I consider smart and like every single little alpha group I'm in is all like quite bullish on Circle at 6 billion. I kind of feel like I should participate in it as well. And it does make you think if like once in a while you have these sort of like generational IPOs, you know, that like just kick off something like much bigger than just that one company.
Is it bigger than just, shouldn't it trade according to whatever the Fed funds rate is? Like whatever the short-term rate is, because that's how they make their money, right?
I think that's kind of like the mid take on it at this point. Yeah, for sure. Not as in an insulting way.
No,
like,
but I imagine
like,
eventually at some point in its lifetime, they'll be just like, oh, it's a interest rate play.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you have any sort of like imagination, I think you can kind of like conceive of like how the business could be so much more than just like a freaking like basically interest rate arbitrage, which is basically just what banks do, right? They just like get you to deposit in your checking account and they arb you.
Lend it out 10x.
But I think this could be so much bigger than what banks do, just because there's just so much more interesting stuff you can do in crypto. Like I have to think that like if you think Circle has the ability to basically take the dollar and tokenize it and distribute it, what else? Like could Circle just start doing like stocks? Like could they be like the company that tokenizes all the stocks or something crazy like that? Like you start thinking through that, and then you can kind of get to some wild places in your head.
Yeah, I don't know if Jeremy, the CEO, has ever talked about like the future products. But
Jeremy Allaire.
Yeah, but I imagine once
they don't really do that much.
Earnings call comes up,
not a lot of vision.
When he's got his like earnings calls, he's gonna learn from Elon.
Like these stable coins are going to be like massive in our lives going forward, and it just seems like ripe for speculation.
Well, I gotta imagine at some point they should be the largest single holder of treasuries. I think Warren Buffett holds like 5% of all shorter term treasuries.
Does he?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Tether's way up there, obviously.
Yeah. But Tether, I don't think Tether is going to get anointed, but it'll still be loud because they just can't stop it.
Oh yeah. Not only do they not stop it, they want it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like
come in, but you got to buy treasuries.
I'm surprised they're not like, all right, Tether, you're cool, but you got to buy 30 years.
So Tether size is like significantly larger than USDC, right? It's like an order of magnitude larger.
Way larger.
Is it an order of magnitude?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, if you,
I mean, you're probably right. I didn't think it was that much bigger. I know it's significantly bigger. I didn't think it was like 10x bigger.
I heard that Tether's like the most profitable crypto organization.
It's the most profitable business like in the history of humanity. Like you get probably like 3 employees and they make like $12 billion a year or something.
5x, not a whole order of magnitude. Okay. 5x bigger.
That makes sense. Yeah, I probably should trade that tomorrow. That'll be interesting.
I'm a little burned off of it because I traded or I didn't trade. I just bought the
Coinbase IPO?
Yeah, but that was a direct listing.
Fortunately, I
didn't understand the.
Oh, you're finally above water.
I got rid of that shit a long time ago.
Is he?
It came out at 250.
No, but yeah, like, but if you bought it like a normal person, like 30 minutes later,
450.
Yeah. and then I was like Googling direct listing. I'm like, oh, it's all the existing shareholders dumping on you. I should have looked this up.
I should have Googled this.
Yeah, I should have Googled it before I bought it.
Yeah, good times.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been another like major crypto IPO?
No.
Not major, I don't think.
This will be a big one.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge. Like, God, exciting things are happening right now. I haven't been this excited in a long time because.
Are you talking about actual exciting things, or are you just talking about price being exciting?
Like everything is exciting. Price is exciting. The things on the horizon are exciting. The things happening right now are exciting. These catalysts, and it's juxtaposed with like sentiment that is like unreasonably dog shit.
I agree with the sentiment. And I think there's like interesting developments in terms of like adoption, particularly of like Bitcoin as something that's accepted in our global mindshare. But I'm asking specifically if there's anything that's exciting in like the crypto use case.
I mean,
realm.
just stablecoin legislation, just kind of solidifying it.
That would be amazing. Stablecoin as like a payment vehicle would be incredible.
Yeah. I mean, you're about to go through like a regulatory / innovation boom. Like people have forever been like, oh, what if crypto doesn't do anything interesting? It's because you haven't allowed anybody to build anything fucking interesting. I thought there was an interesting discussion on the 1000X pod last week because they were talking about, you guys familiar with Hyperliquid?
Yeah, familiar.
So one of the most interesting things that I think is an inevitability, and I've actually thought this for some time, is the greatest thing that crypto has like sort of popularized isn't the stablecoin. It is the perpetual future. Correct. The perpetual future is an unbelievable financial instrument, not just because it enables like this wild degeneracy, which is also awesome, but it is just such a fucking improvement over so many things in the TradFi space. Like, I get why you want like monthly settlements on, like if you got to take corn or something and like somebody's literally giving you trucks of corn. Sure, like, yeah, it makes sense. I need corn end of October. But like the fact that we do like monthly settlements on like S&P futures that are makes no sense. Like that shit should be perpetual. You should just always be able to bet on the price of the S&P in some sort of leveraged derivative fashion 24/7. Just go.
It is really great. It's user friendly. You pick how many times you want to leverage. It shows you your liquidation price, and you click buy, and you're good.
It's great. I agree. I remember
like, you have to roll contracts and stuff.
When you first brought me into crypto in 2020 or whatever that was, when we were in COVID and that cigar bar, you showed me the perps, and I was like, "Does this exist like outside of crypto?" And you told me like, "No, it doesn't."
No,
it is amazing. I think like one thing that I'm thinking though is what we're seeing with like hood versus coin is that it's like it's easier for the instantiated TradFi guys to implement perps than it is for like TradFi investors to go on chain and invest in perps.
See, I kind of disagree with that. I think there's a truth in what you're saying. Okay, so the truth in what you're saying, and one of the main reasons I dumped coin was that it is way fucking easier for people rooted in TradFi, all these brokerage houses, to simply add crypto than for Coinbase to add all of the TradFi stuff. And I saw this as a huge problem.
Because the licensing and stuff? Or
I don't like even me, like the idea, like I don't really use Coinbase anymore because like I just use interactive brokers because they still trade like all the major coins I trade.
It's cheaper.
And then they have proxies for them like IBIT, and then they have options and all this stuff Coinbase doesn't have. Am I going to just start moving all my business to Coinbase just because I can trade stocks there? No. I don't even think Coinbase is like one of the main reasons that like I don't even think the company's that well run where they're going to like steal my money and shit, right? So like when I went through that thought exercise, I was like, no way. But the perp thing specifically, I think is interesting. Like the derivatives thing specifically is interesting. Like I actually am partial to the idea that like crypto native companies will be able to execute the perp far better. And the example of this that I think Jonah brought up on the pod was like, he said, well, what about Hyperliquid? Like how easy is it for Hyperliquid to just add oil futures, oil perps, gold perps, S&P perps, NASDAQ perps? And I was just like,
hook up a few oracles
seamless,
and you're
absolutely
ready to go.
seamless. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so bullish, Hyperliquid. Like you make perps legal in the US, and then like Hyperliquid has like freaking like NASDAQ perps.
That's all the same for Interactive Brokers, Charles Schwab, because this is all just code, right? So like they could add it equally as easily.
I don't know that it's quite that simple. There's a great deal of risk involved in running perps, like these liquidation engines and how they function. There's a lot of moving parts there. I don't think like Interactive Brokers is just going to jump headfirst into this. And I think the audience of people who there's like an audience mismatch too. Like when I'm talking about using Coinbase versus like Interactive Brokers, I'm already trading stocks, and everybody using Coinbase trading coins is already trading stocks. But everybody on Interactive Brokers isn't trading perps.
Yeah, nobody's seen a perp
literally
yet.
Everybody on Hyperliquid is already trading perps.
But doesn't this sound like the natural progression of what investors would want? I mean, you see the popularity of 0-day options. You don't think like if they new feature, perpetual futures, it would just, I think it'd catch fire. Like especially if Robinhood was able to.
It will catch fire, but I do not think that Interactive Brokers is going to just like take Hyperliquid's lunch. Hood can take Coinbase's like lunch because they can just offer crypto and then Coinbase is fucked. Interactive Brokers is not just going to like offer perps and then take all of Hyperliquid's business. Like there's a difference there.
Seems like a ripe acquisition. I don't know how the Hyperliquid team is structured or the actual entity, but seems ripe for someone to acquire them.
Also, like I don't know what the appetite is for TradFi investors to get into perps, because like it's a whole new.
They know options. They're like, is this much better?
Right.
I got futures. How much better?
Like, I
this?
personally don't like perp. I don't use them. I prefer the vehicles that I'm used to.
Okay.
Yeah, they're hard. I mean, they're easy to use and they're hard to use. Like they're very dangerous in a particular way. They're also like incredibly useful. Like if you understand how to use perps, like to be able to have this like incredible hedging mechanism like at your fingertips at all times that like saves a lot of money in the form of like I don't have to roll this or whatever is like a lot of efficiency there. But also it can like shred you quite badly. But like I mean people get blasted trading NASDAQ futures and stuff too, like S&P futures. Like you trade like some of these like ES contracts. You don't know what you're doing. You buy 10 contracts. The thing moves like 8 ticks and your whole account is gone because you're like, you bought a $15 million position size. You don't understand what's going on there. In some ways, like trading ES futures is actually way more complicated than trading perps. Like I find perps easier to trade. Like there's still to this day, I'm trading like these futures contracts and I'm just like, wait, what is this position size? It's 10 contracts. Their contracts like 500K. Whatever.
Perps are so user friendly. I've seen people who don't invest in stocks, anything.
They're
show them the interface, and they're like.
But that's also why people get destroyed using them because like they're approachable in a way.
But I think like what we're talking to is like the super active trader. Like I don't think perps are for investors, which is like the primary demographic.
They're not for investors, but they are for institutional players. They're for the types of players who are like hedging oil and stuff for sure. Like it's like a better. Or the types of players who are using like NASDAQ futures. Absolutely. Like I cannot conceive of an argument why the current like CBO futures are better than perps for like NASDAQ or anything that's like cash settled. So that's going to be like a super interesting boom when like perps are just legal in the US. That's going to be like the end of prohibition, but like the end of financial prohibition. Like we're gonna have the flapper girls.
I mean, maybe that's a use case for Coinbase to come back because I actually think they're sort of like positioning themselves to be a derivative.
They have the international perp.
International perps. They got Deribit for options. I think they're like positioning themselves for this.
Yeah.